My name is Andressa. I'm 40 years old and I am an entrepreneur in the food industry. Betrayal destroyed my family's dream. My father was like a friend to us. To me, to my siblings, he always treated us well. But all of a sudden, he changed. He left home, left my mother, left me and my siblings. So everything was destroyed. My brother went off the rails. My sister got married and left home, so my mother and I were left on our own. My mother suffered from depression, and I was very afraid that I would find her dead one day because she always said that her life had ended. I had aches all over my body. We dealt only with suffering and sadness because we had never imagined that such a thing would happen to us. Then one day I met someone. We dated for some time and then we got married. However, 6 months later, the same thing that happened to my mother happened to me. Betrayal. And I had made my husband my safe harbor. What I used to have in my father, I had transferred to him my sense of security. Even after the betrayal, I accepted the situation. I remained with him despite knowing that he had someone else. Many people in the town I lived in came to tell me that he was still seeing the other woman. This was until he came to tell me that the other woman was pregnant. That was the worst thing for me, because I didn't have a child with him. So it felt like I had lost the position of wife. So my suffering only increased. I ended up being the other woman. I was no longer deemed as his wife. The other woman, who was his mistress, was now being seen as his wife. So I started getting ill, very depressed, very sad inside our home. He financially supported me well, so that I didn't need to work. But the sadness only increased. Every week I was taken to hospital with pain all over my body. I experienced a lot of oppression, a lot of sadness. What I had been looking for, a husband to make up for the absence of a father in my life, the security, I didn't find in him. He didn't have time for me. He offered me all the material means, the financial stability. What my father had not been able to give me, my husband did. However, it was not what I wanted, because I knew that I could achieve that by myself. I was not seeking for that. My love life was still empty. Everything I lived through with him made me even more insecure. So I became a person full of complexes. I thought myself as inferior to every other woman. I suffered. And I also compared myself to his mistress. I compared mine to the things she had. If she had better things than me, I asked why I did not have the same. I always questioned, why is this happening to me? I had always done everything to be a good wife, like my mother also did. This was how I arrived at the Universal Church, full of complexes, suffering with that betrayal. Despite attending the church and listening to the word, I still wanted to do my will because my desire was to save my marriage. I wanted my husband fully with me. I was there because I thought my problem would be solved. In the meetings, I always heard about the Holy Spirit. In the Bible it says, "But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. I wanted this power, so I started craving this power. However, I also heard that I had to give up my own will, what I wanted. So I started to understand that I had to break free from the traumas, from the insecurities. I had to stop comparing myself to others because I learned that I was precious to God and that I should not compare myself to anybody. I suffered for years in this marriage, but when I understood that He could not be my God and that He could never fulfill that role, I started cutting everything from my life that made me feel bad. This was when I asked Him for a divorce. With that, I lost a lot of things, financially speaking. However, I didn't pay any attention to that. I left it all behind because all I wanted was the Holy Spirit. So, we were divorced very quickly, and I carried on with my life. After the divorce, I made the decision to throw myself into God. The first step was to get baptized in water. I got baptized, threw myself into and started getting involved with the things of God in my preparation. I started becoming free from all the traumas, from the sadness, from the insecurities I had, from the comparisons. I started understanding that I had my value before God. I wanted to receive the Holy Spirit so much because I wanted to experience that power. I wanted to know what this power was that I had never had. The day finally came. It was on a Sunday morning. I got ready at dawn, seeking Him. I was already certain that I would have my encounter with my God that day. So that morning, as I was seeking, I could hear His voice speaking to me, that He was with me. It was so strong, so powerful that such joy came over me, such joy that I had never felt. On that day, I had the assurance of this power inside me. Consequently, everything started to change in my life. I started feeling calmer. I now had peace. I found peace within that compares to nothing else, to any wealth. The financial stability that my husband gave me before cannot compare to the peace I have today. It is like my past has been erased. I even have to make some effort if I want to remember my past life, because what I have today cannot compare to anything else. The happiness, my joy to live. Today, I no longer suffer with pain. I do not suffer with anything. I have battles. I face battles every day. But God shields me every day with His power. I have remarried, and we do the work of God together. He is a blessed man, a man of God who values me. I see that everything he does is to make me happy. I have a son, something that I never imagined I would have, who is a blessed boy. My husband and I are in the evangelism group. I'm also in the CBC, the Children's Biblical Center. In the past, where betrayal had destroyed my dreams, today the Holy Spirit has made everything new. He has made me a happy woman, and He completes me. Everything I was looking for in a person, The Holy Spirit provided. I recognize that without Him it is impossible to live.